Happy birthday, Dave. You've had quite a year, and I felt it was worth reflecting back on. Everything can come to an end any day for anyone, so we choose to live like each day could be our last. What you did at your sickest, most people don't even try at their healthiest. Every day we have together is a gift, but I hope one day we take that for granted, because that would mean you'd been happy, healthy, healed, and back to 100% long enough for us to do so. Dave, here is your year 2018. Yes, even feeling as horrible as you were, you went kiteboarding. We couldn't sail, so we flew to Belize. Cheers! We had a great visit with Slow Flight and Vidora in Key Calker. But things kept going from bad to worse. What else would bring us to Maryland in such weather?
We left for the place called Belize for this crap. You know I'm sick.
You must be.
Oh my god.
To put us through this.
Freaking sick in the head.
Oh, it tastes good though. It's landing on my lips without me even trying. Yeah, do it again. Dave, what are you doing right now?
Freaking not fucking snow. Not sand, that's for sure.
No, we're not sailing.
No, it's not sand.
Oh, sand? No, it's not sand either. Hey!
Given your choice where you wanted to be sick, you chose to return to Roatan, Honduras, where we left Livin life safely docked at beautiful Jonesville Point Marina. However, you didn't feel well enough for boat living, so we took a room in West End. From here, we gingerly toured the island in a rental car. We played with sloths, parrots, and macaws. You made new friends that seemed to know who needed some loving. And because once wasn't enough, we returned for some more sloth love. This time, even the monkeys were attracted to you. And you certainly got your fill of them. But how many people can say they were pickpocketed by a monkey? We also fed some prehistoric-looking iguanas. We tried to keep up walking, but it got harder and harder. You returned home again, leaving me to enjoy sunsets on the water, in the company of Amakaya, and listening to the jazzy sounds of canela con leche. But none of that could keep me from worrying, and with good reason. Nothing was working. You have some very big shoes to fill. But Mom came to help us return Livin life to the safety of the Rio Dulce until we could get this all figured out. But first, I took Mom to our favorite places, and you even grinned and bared a dinghy tour through the mangroves. I picked up some jobs you would normally do before we could set sail. After getting us to open water, Mom and I took over the helm. But even then, you insisted on taking turns. Luckily, we had perfectly calm seas, making the journey easy on all of us. After meeting Amakaya and Tres Puntas, we finally sailed up the Rio, and it felt like we were home. However, restless hearts can't sit still, and we were soon off on another road trip. In Copan, Honduras, we sipped traditional Mayan tea and took a rickshaw to Macaw Mountain. Here, we experienced birds as never before. You learned to read some Mayan numbers. We saw the results of the macaw breeding program flying freely. We slowly explored the Mayan ruins. And shared some unique dining experiences. Shortly after we returned to the Rio, your other second half arrived. We got busy donating to and working with the Bomberos, with you teaching them how to use my old MacBook Air.
The boys are back in town, the boys are back, the boys are back, the boys are back in town.
You got a little visiting in before you went right back to Baltimore. Another surgery was needed, so I returned 2 weeks later. This time, it would be a major surgery, requiring us to stay for quite some time, so I found us an apartment. We hoped we wouldn't need the full 4 months I signed for, but at least you liked the apartment when you were released after only 3 days. Unfortunately, that's when everything went wrong and I brought you back to the hospital. This time, you wouldn't leave anytime soon. Kept alive through tubes, you managed to get up and walk around. You might have been reduced to a few small, slow steps, but you kept going, refusing to give up. And even tried to be funny. Slowly you improved and graduated from walking your room to around the ward to around the hospital. And graduated from tubes to liquids to semi-solids. Finally released, your mom helped us buy a car. With only a little bribery. We walked and walked a little more each day. We walked in parks, in malls, and around Annapolis, where we were kicked out of the Naval Academy. We began visiting friends again. And taking short road trips. You began taking on chores. Devin came to visit, and you taught us duck pin bowling.
That was it. I got it.
I couldn't believe it when you even rode a bike. For the first time in 8 months, you were truly recovering. With recovery came restlessness, and we launched on a big road trip to Niagara Falls. And Ottawa. To Quebec City. Lunenburg. The Bay of Fundy. Peggy's Cove. and Halifax, Nova Scotia. Back in the States, we gamed with our niece Catherine in Massachusetts. Dined in the weirdest restaurant in Baltimore. And sought out interesting graves like the Ouija board creator and John Wilkes Booth.
You gotta say it.
We checked in on our beloved Vidora family in Virginia. And joined the Mausers and Blue Moon in Maine, where we walked some more. Jason even took us out on the water. How we missed that, right? You cooked up some lobsters. And then we were off again.
Go ahead. Now what pain and
I
what?
love my wife so.
My mom witnessed you harassing me on our next road trip. From Massachusetts to Vermont, we saw the weirdest museums. Haunted locations. Toured Ben and Jerry's. Vermont's waterfalls. And a cider factory. Before a calf tried to eat you in Amish country, Pennsylvania. When our lease ran out, we moved into an Airbnb, where we had visitors come for the Annapolis Boat Show. We had a blast with Banyan, teaching them to eat blue crabs, and celebrating Canadian Thanksgiving. Jason from Mimsy joined us. And you were finally able to drink alcohol again.
You, madam, you may take photographs with or without flash, as well as video recordings if you must.
We stopped in Orlando on our way back to the Rio. Once home again, everyone said they were glad to see you looking so healthy and 10 years younger. We had a mega cruisers Thanksgiving.
I just appreciate everyone joining us in our Thanksgiving tradition for America.
Bueno, queremos agradecer a todos por acompañarnos en el Día de Gracia, que es de Estados Unidos.
And you hired Waxahachie to play. You started poker tournaments at Catamaran. Danced with Melissa on the Sledgehammer Booze Cruise. And played jokes on someone other than me. Our stay on the boat was short-lived as we hauled out for repairs. We explored more of the river And you shopped around for potential property, like you do everywhere. We met up with Easy Rider on a visa run to Belize. And you drove the next booze cruise. I'm so glad you're well again.
Somebody had too much coffee today.
What?
Here's what you look like healthy.
Somebody had too much coffee today.
Who else is coming?
Now go back and rewatch your hospital days.
Coming. Who's coming? Me, you.
You've come a long way, baby.